Happy Democracy Day, Nigeria. Yes, it is today, the day we have been waiting for, June 12, 2026. 27 years of uninterrupted democracy. It is indeed a bright and a beautiful new beginning for Nigeria. I like to call it a new beginning because 27 years, like they'll say in the local parlance, it no be my, it no be beans. Yes, it's been a very great years for Nigeria. And on that note, I welcome you to the Friday's edition of the morning show done on VOS TV. It is indeed a double celebration to the part of the show. And I have with me a pastor in the building. Yes, Pastor Calvary is with me this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy.
Good morning, Nigeria. Happy Democracy Day.
Indeed, Happy Democracy Day. Yeah. And speaking about Democracy Day, we will be talking specifically about democracy. Today is a special edition of the show where we'll be taking a look at Nigeria's democracy 27 years after. Are we enjoying the dividends of democracy? That question is one that you want to be a part of answering. Because, I mean, democracy, they say, is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And just to kickstart the show, we have a major story we are tracking for you this morning. One that rocked Abuja yesterday, talking about a protest by angry Nigerian youth chanting, Tinubu must go. Okay, so looking at the fact that we are marking Democracy Day today, and that took place yesterday, Pastor Calvary, I'd like to get your take on this. What message does protests like this send to the government about the current plight of the people?
Thank you very much. As that implies, the demonstration and the protest of the people, they're trying to express the pain they are receiving from the present government. And they're supposed to be, in a democracy, is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In other words, it's a government that is supposed to benefit the people at the grassroots. But this time, we are not getting the dividends at all, or the benefit is always pain upon pain, difficulties upon difficulties. And this is why you see people demonstrating were actually acquired or gotten by this nation. You discover that during that time of, in this state, about Brigadier Osagbovo Ogbemudia and that of Professor Ambrose Ali, these two, democratic or civilian rule, we got the benefit of democracy then.
All right, so talking about the benefits of democracy, we'll definitely delve deeper into this conversation much later into the program. But for now, we'll take a quick break and we'll bring you stories making rounds across newspaper dailies. Stay with us. Thank you so much for still being there this morning. Protest in Warri, Delta State, where the leaders are protesting over the federal constituency, its land issues, so to speak. And this protest has led to them blocking oil. And moving on, still on the rider, next batch due to be back on Monday. Evacuation to be concluded this month, says AGI Commissioner. So talking about the recent continued upsurge in the xenophobic attack, South African killing African foreigners. And now we have over 486 Nigerians who have been repatriated back. And some of these evacuees have shared their ordeal, how they were threatened that if they don't leave the country, they would shoot them and kill them. Then there's another allegation here, Pastor Calvary, of how South African government were not actually allowing them to get documented properly. What does this speak to our bilateral relations with other African countries? And how can we curb issues like this going forward?
Thank you very much. You see, the xenophobia attack on Nigeria in South Africa is actually a big blow to Nigeria. Because, you know, this also speak on the level of the dividends of our governance. You know, when you look inwardly, you discover that we have less of foreigners in this country because the country is not going forward in the area of development and job creation for the young ones. What take people outside their country to other country, giving to you instantly, and the job is waiting for you. If you are second class, they give you something like Volkswagen and third class, as the case may be, in order to encourage. You don't seek for job. As soon as you finish, most institutions go there to, on the day of their graduation, to select on different departments. Please give us those from second class, first class to be employed. As soon as you finish, you get. Yeah, things has changed. So at this time, you see people who have first class, second class at the end of their education, and they are looking like this core roster by the wayside. Some are Okada men and their back, and they hear that there is an opportunity in outside country, in one of these neighboring countries, that they migrate.
Interesting.
Yes, they go about looking for where they can get better life, and getting to South Africa, Ghana, and some other, countries, and life is better. You know what happened about a few years ago when doctors were flying away from here to other countries, and our politicians are even going there to receive treatment from them. We
hope that this trend will definitely stop, so that we can have more Nigerians in our country and not having the issue of xenophobia
until those greedy leaders leave that place.
All right, we are going to actually speak to that today. But first, let's move over to our next newspaper, which is the Nigerian Tribune, and see headlines making rounds there. This one says, Niger school abduction. Court sentences 5 to 25 years imprisonment. Niger school abduction. Court sentences 5 to 25 years imprisonment. Still on the Nigerian Tribune, just by the side of that story, 210 trillion naira probe. Senate overrules panel, withdraws arrest warrant against Kyari. Says Oshomole abused legislative powers. I acted under extreme provocation, says the senator. They're talking about Comrade Adams Aliu Oshomole. All right, other stories there says NAF strikes, destroys terrorist enclave, kills scores in Lake Chad region. Troops, DSS, raid IPOB, ESN in Enugu, recover rocket launcher rifles. And the big story on the Nigeria Tribune says Democracy Day, Tinubu restates determination to secure Nigeria. And just under that story, reps vote for state police. 289 lawmakers approve bill. Senate differs voting till July. All right, Pastor, let's touch a bit on security this morning. Okay. Looking at our security, 27 years since we entered democracy, and now this is a clamor for state policing. Do you think state policing is the solution to our security situation right now?
Thank you very much. At least to a long extent, it will go a long way. State policing, yeah, definitely. When state police comes on board, they will be able to cover the grassroots. They will be able to cover. If you look at the number of federal police we have in our country, there are very few. You go to any of these police stations on the day of independence or on the day of Democracy Day, when majority of these policemen enter or go to stadium to secure the governor, you discover that when you go into any of these police stations, it's empty. You get very few of them. In a developed country, each of the major junction with police and police van, in case of an emergency, I can drive all the way from Ego to this place, and I will have just 2 police checking points. And something can be happening in any of these lanes. When I was growing up, I used to make an example of when this country was good. In my own village of the local government, Igbobazo of Via Southwest, when we wake up at night to ease ourselves, you will not know that there's police in the dark What were they hunting? Just goat thieves. When they were those days, thieves will come out to start catching goat in front of their houses. And these policemen will start walking with torchlight. You won't know there's someone coming. And at that time, that was a very clever way of policing. But this time around, you discover that there are few policemen, even though they claim they employ once a year or once in 2 years, it's still not enough. With the arrival of these vigilantes we have in our community now, so much crime has dropped. So state policing is very important to curb crime in our locality.
All right, thank you very much, Pastor Calvary, for your take on that. All right, with that take, let's quickly move over to the last newspaper for today, the Guardian newspaper. And it starts with the issue of state police governors to bear more responsibility as National Assembly passes bill. So talking about the financing of state policing, that story says that governors are to bear the brunt of financing state police. And the question many Nigerians are asking, do our governors have the financial capacity to fund state policing? And what about the issue of abuse as well? These are concerns that Nigerians are raising as regards that. All right, moving on. Tinubu hails 27 years of democracy, honors June 12 heroes amid concerns over governance. That story can be found on page 6. Army confirms Cameroonian troops incursion in Cross River. And the big story found on page 12, on page 33, I beg your pardon. June 12 at 33, a thriving democracy still in search of trust, credible polls, dividends. Just beneath that, we have a congratulatory message to the president on Democracy Day. All right, lastly, Pastor, let's touch on the major story they're talking about, credible polls. We know that next year is the general elections. And so far, so good. Many Nigerians have expressed their concern. Let's start with the electoral bill that does not allow for electronic transmission of voting. Looking at our democracy in terms of credibility in our elections, how can you rate it from 1 to 10?
Well, if I want to rate it, my sister, it's about 5/10. Yes. I won't say why will the bill of electoral bill not allow electronic transmission. That is the transparency. As soon as the electorate goes to the poll and cast their vote, instantly transfer the result to the office, so that instant there won't be any manipulations. But if there is resistance to electoral bill, that means there is a plan for ringing. There will be manipulation. We have seen the cases where you get about 300 and another zero is added to become 3,000. But if it was transferred instantly with the party agent being present, then everybody has endorsed by signing that this is actually the result, and instantly put in a beaver and transfer immediately to the house, there won't be any manipulation.
But there are arguments as to that. We're looking at our network system, telecommunications not being available in certain areas. Also, there's the argument of hacking. The system could be hacked. I mean, even recently we saw the voters' information of a popular Nollywood actor that was in the public space, and INEC came out to say that, oh, it was a personnel's info that was taking that detail out.
You see, that is where you discover that the failure of the government. How long are we going to remain like this? Why will everything be failing? In a developed society, are they not using the same electronic transmission? So why is Nigeria case always different? That anything, when you look at this country, you hardly say that it's a developing country. If something developing is something that is growing, you go forward at every given time.
So are you saying since 27 years back, we have not moved any
step forward? We go forward and move backward. 2 steps forward, 3 steps backward. That is what we are saying. Otherwise, how long You said 27 years of democracy.
Yes.
And this 27 years uninterrupted. Fine. So for 27 years, what improvement have we been able to derive from this transmission of results?
That's a salient question you raised there, and I believe that answers will definitely be provided going forward. And for you viewers watching us, I want you to touch on that question. Have we really improved? If you are to rate Nigerians' democracy from 1 to 10 in terms of improvement, what would you give it? All right, quickly, let me take a few comments as we call this segment a wrap. This one is coming from Jagaban. Good morning to you. How are you doing this morning, Jagaban? It's always good to have you join us on the show. Jagaban says here that the government has not done any reasonable thing other than the NEL Fund loan scheme to students, and we haven't seen since last month's upkeep, and they say they are keeping to their word. At least, Jagaban, can't you say that the NEL Fund is one of the achievements of democracy so far? Well, Pastor, I'm also throwing that question to you. All right, and that is it. We'll call it a wrap on the first segment of our show this morning. And today we have a special feature story for you this morning, talking about Nigerians' democracy, how we have evolved over the years. And this feature story will be played immediately after this segment. Do stay with us.
Federal Republic of Nigeria,
and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
So help me God.
On the 29th of May 1999, Nigeria witnessed a transition from military regime to civilian administration after 60 years of...
And Nigeria is a democratic nation, a republic nation, but up to now, you are yet to reap the dividend of democracy. Presently, the country is not laughing. There is austerity in the country. How can we be happy if we say Nigeria is a democratic nation? Go to the USA. USA is a democratic nation. The country is prosperous. Go to the UK. UK is a democratic nation. Go to Australia. Go to Canada. These are countries that are democratic in nature. The citizens are laughing. The citizens are enjoying. But here, it's a different thing entirely. I am not happy, personally. Nigerians are not happy. We might say Nigeria is a democratic nation, but are we reaping the dividend? The answer is no.
We are not fed with that. We are managing to breathe at all. The reason why I think we should say this more. Otherwise, are we even practicing democracy in Nigeria? The answer is no. If we are practicing democracy, the will of the people must prevail. In a situation whereby the people fear government, that is dictatorship. The government ought to fear the people. The government ought to do the will of the people. A country where you will vote, INEC and the judiciary will agree that who did not win is the winner. It's not democracy. So we are calling it democracy because in other claims they call it democracy, but we're not practicing it. Go to the judiciary, what you get is judgment, not justice. So what are we celebrating? As I said earlier, because we are breathing at all, And that's why we say this small. But we should not go to the street beating our drums, celebrating democracy. Is it democracy? Democratically, because we are holding it every 4 years, we may say we are moving who they want.
I think at this point in time in our social climb, from this socio-political part, in the annals of the historical development of Nigeria, I think the only thing that we can say we are celebrating is to be alive. Because Nigerians in the street, they are not happy. Nigerians in the streets, they are not smiling. Nigerians in the streets, they are suffering. Nigerians in the streets, they are going through the turmoil of pain and economic hardship from the draconian economic policies of the federal government. Nigerians in the streets, right now, they
All right, thank you so much for still being there with us. So that's this special documentary we have for you as regards Edo's residents' take on if we are truly enjoying the dividends of democracy. You've heard from them, but we also want to talk about it here in the studio. Has democracy really yielded its dividends to Edo people and Nigerians in general? And joining me this morning to have this conversation in the studio, I'm highly blessed this morning, I must say, yes, being flanked by two pastors. Yes, my first guest is Comrade Pastor Usaon Jolly. He is the coordinator, National Youth Council, Ego Local Government Branch. Welcome, Pastor.
Thank you for having me, and happy Democracy Day, Nigeria, and Edo State.
Yes, happy Democracy Day. And yes, Reverend Calvary Ohunamure is still here with me.
Happy Democracy, Nigeria.
All right, let's hit the ground running with the first question. Looking at 27 years, can we really say that Nigerians, Edo-lite, have enjoyed the dividends of democracy? And I'd like to Pastor Jolly to answer this question.
Okay, if I must be sincere with you, I would say, for me, we've not. I was just listening to the newspaper review, and I heard troops going to Enugu to recover rocket launcher and what have you. While we have our children, in those states, being kept in the bush. You call that democracy? No. I got a story that in the Edo Central, schools were shut down. Why? Because there was
it was not signed by the name of the permanent. It was not signed by the name of the permanent secretary there.
Let's get the message straight. In every rumor is an element of truth. Okay, and let's start from here. You come to find out that if the circular that was written, though not signed, carries an ambient of the government, shows there was something being discussed. And take it or leave it, we have a way of doing collateral damage control when it comes to media in this country. The government something will happen, XYZ, and the government will come and tell us the other way around. That is to say, we are not enjoying the dividend of democracy. If we call democracy government of the people, by the people, and for the people, it means
military and the Nigerians should return to military rule. Looking at the fact that you have expressed your grievances, your displeasure over what we are enjoying, that we are not enjoying the dividends, do you think return to military rule is the best option now?
Yes, you see, I could quote that it might be the best option, having considered the level of criminality and the decadence of this democracy system in our nation. Now, when we talk about the military, we know that the military are zero tolerant to criminalism, like this corruption we are experiencing in our country. If you see, let me tell you something about this, our governor. There is a common Benin proverb that says, "Who they cry, they see road." The fact that Nigerians are so peaceful and patient people, I see Nigerians as a very patient set of people. I remember in those days when there was a demonstration of Babangida must go, a lot of things, government facilities were being destroyed. This House of Assembly, Then one hotel owned by Nene at that time at what you call close to a lot of government facilities were being touched because Nigerians were grieved. Even this high court, because at that time that bitterness was in them. Now the government of the day specializes in collecting revenue, and they collect from us in our pain and the dividends we cannot get. And you will hear that this governor looted this, president, the past government looted this to our own pain. And this is the money that was supposed to have been spent. Actually, you discover that during the military reign, a lot of development went through. That was what sent our brother, Professor Ambrose Ali, to jail by the military government. Over, when I read it the other day, whether over 3,000 naira or merely a kobo, he was sent to jail. If not for this good family of our brother Chief Gabriel Osawa Rigbenedion, who rescued, he would have died in jail. When he came out after a few years, he died. Because that is the aim of zero tolerance. But this one, like according to the statement made by one of our political fathers, Adam Aliyu Oshomole, who said, if whatever sin you committed, as long you come to APC, you have, even if you said the Oedo and put the money and you are in opposition and they tell you are going to jail, as soon as you switch to the other party, you are forgiven. And this is exactly what is happening. So when you belong to our party, we forgive every sin you ever committed, to the detriment of these same people that are called the democracy is by the people, for the people, and for the people. Or, you know, that is no longer implied. What is democracy? Like I make an example during the newspaper review that concerns the few democracies we have before the recent military reign of Dr. Osagbobo Igbemudia. I come from Igobazuwa constituency. That time, during his second coming, the first time was during the military. When he came at the other time before he was overthrown, at that time, he started building stadium in my community. Before the completion of that stadium, it was taken out. Till today, no government continued with that stadium. It's now a place made for farming.
All right, thank you, Pastor Calvary. Now, drawing from what Pastor Calvary said, Pastor Jolly, looking at the fact that our leaders, one of the major things that has been pinpointed is corruption. Can we say that we've not had good leaders since we entered into democracy for us to enjoy its dividends?
If I must be sincere with you, no. We've had no good leader. Why do I say so? The Bible said, and I quote, if the righteous rule, the people rejoice. He said, but when the wicked one is in power, the people will lament. Now, that is to say that if we are mourning, we are lamenting, it means there has not been anything good. There has not been anything.
Anything at all. So are you saying that since 27 years ago, there is not one achievement that we can point to that this is what we have enjoyed from democracy?
What you call enjoyment, or what you call we've enjoyed, is what they are using to steal from us the more. There have been policies made. Which of those policies have been achieved to the betterment of the people? We talk about free education. You and I know how many parents or what parents are going through to school their children. Is there free education? Somebody was talking about net fund. Have you asked yourself how many students have truly, sincerely benefits from that net fund? Can we now say, since the era of the net fund, that all our children are now going to school without the parents paying? What was clearance in Unibe as at when we are entering the democracy? And what is clearance now in the same Unibe? A federal government parastatal, in quotes. So that is to say, for me, there has not been anything good. Just like the question that was asked by the Pharisees, can anything good come out of Nazareth?
Okay, what about the issue of freedom of speech? At least compared to military.
Okay, let me come to tell you the truth. That the freedom of speech
is not freedom of speech in quotes. Have you asked yourself, there are Nigerians who have gone to social media to express their grievance. DSS are after their lives. The ICPC are after their lives. EFCC are after their lives. Then terrorists went on the same social media to demand ransom, and nobody is after anybody.
Well, we cannot rightly say that they are not after them. I mean, the security agents are still doing their underground work.
You just read. Let's try to see things and say it the way they are. You just read at the newspaper review. They went to Enugu. Did they not come out with something? Can you ask yourself, what was the time frame? Enugu, we've never heard that one child has been kidnapped and held in the bush for 2 days. But they went there and they told you we came out with rocket launcher. Since how many weeks now has the children been kidnapped? What has been the news? Those persons, those children, those teachers in the bush, they belong to somebody. They are people's family. Are you not calling that? People have come out to speak, to say, to condemn the act. Go and check how many persons continue to speak again, because as soon as you speak, they come for you. As soon as you speak, they come for you.
So you are saying that freedom of speech is not really being enjoyed.
Freedom of speech is handcuffed.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Pastor Jolly. Okay, now let's turn our attention to Edo State. Pastor Calvary, how would you assess democratic dividends in Edo State from the previous administration to this current administration in different sectors, education, security, agriculture, and others?
Thank you very much. I cannot completely deny that we have not benefited, but you know, during the time of the newspaper review, I said 5/10.
So that should be a pass mark?
Yeah, well, no, not completely a pass mark. I just rated them 5. I just want to be human. I don't want to say 3/10 as though I'm not seeing anything. To some extent, we are seeing things. Let me tell you, the democracy is the government of the people, not of themselves, not of the government, of the people. The major concern of democracy is the people. If the people are not benefited, there is no government, there is no democracy. My friend, look, if there is a proverb that said, teach a man how to fish instead of early in the morning come and have small fish and drink gari. You are not helping. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. I told my son of about 22 years, I said, by December you are packing out of this house. He said, why, daddy? I said, you are man enough. Go and struggle to pay your rent and to feed yourself, then you will know that my father, he did a lot for me for all these years. Let me tell you, man, what you are sitting there here now as a woman. If you give birth to a baby, you have a house girl, you prepare milk, nanny or whatever, and get to the house girl and say, please feed my baby. He used 50% of that milk for herself to drink tea and give the remnant, the underpot, to the baby. The baby is looking slimmer and dying, malnutrition. That is wickedness. What is made for us should be given to us. During the Obemudia Independence Day, this farm milk, I was a witness to it, I was a part of it. They will come, this farm milk, yogurt. They come to stadium to share for us. The government has paid for it. Notebook and textbooks were free for us. Even up to almost to the sandals container. There was one time we were using that as container. They were free for us. We don't buy. Teachers were mandated to go from house to house to force children to come to school. That everything is free for them. You are talking about free education. What is free? What are we benefiting? When books we cannot buy. Now leave that alone. Then when I say 5% over 10.
5 over 10.
For instance, in the days of Oshomole, a lot of road were attended to. We agreed to that. Let me tell you, if I happen to give a government as a governor, a government should look inwardly to what the grassroots will benefit. They don't eat from your house. Give them easy life.
Fact that in as much as we have not fully benefited, but they are
good road should be in those states. You want to take a card, it's 5,000. In those states, you want to take a card, it's 5,000 naira. Then if you can take 5,000 naira, then if you can take card for 5,000, don't talk about treatments. A card for 5,000. Don't talk about treatments. Now, no longer talking of pipe-borne water. No longer talking of pipe-borne water. We have water board. No longer existing, but government is paying staff. No longer existing, but government is paying staffs. There. Everybody is fending for themselves in terms of water. Light is for themselves in terms of water. Light is not there. Today it's not there. Today you can attach you an iron generator. You can attach you an iron generator. And at the end of the day, if you cannot afford fuel, you remain in the dark, or you look for solar, Thank God, solar is coming up.
Stealing. He did it because he's hungry. But any man who committed crime for no reason, that is a criminal. You understand? If our government, listen, my dear sister, if our government know the right thing to do, and the people is doing the wrong thing, then that is criminal. If you go close to these so-called bandits, they will tell you they have a reason for doing what they are doing. And by the time life is made easy for everyone, the people will not commit this crime. You hear about so trillion. A major rule 4 years, and it's so trillion. And that trillion belongs to the masses. It could be invested into a center, like my comrade said. It could be invested into education. It could be invested into infrastructure.
So finally,
our government has failed us. We have nothing. I remember when I was in primary school, they will come to the primary school and ask the headmaster to bring us to the hospital for free. If you have cough, you don't look for empty bottle. You get it. They will turn cough medicine for free.
All right. So the government needs to wake up.
I want to say this, sir. There is no way the people will be good when our government is not good, because whatever crime they commit is under pressure. No one is happy to commit crime.
All right. Thank you so much, Pastor Calvary, for your take.
Thank you very much.
And lastly, from you, Pastor Jolly, I want you to speak on to the issue of freedom of speech, because you made mention of that in your statement. Okay. How do we balance? Because there is this discord between criticism of the government, and government is saying that there is a limit to criticism. That is why people are being punished for it. So how can the government and the people balance this?
Okay. Let me use should I say a word that can qualify both. When we talk about balance, we talk about skill, right?
Yes.
In a scale, to get a balance, the two must be equal. They should forget one thing, or they shouldn't forget something, that they are leaders, servant leaders. Until they put themselves in that shoe of a servant leader, take it or leave it, we can't get it right. Now let me use the church for instance. My pastor here will do something. Do what I do. Do what I say, don't do what I do. Get it? He did something out of place. He will tell the member, don't follow this thing I'm doing. Go and do it like this. They are watching you. So when you now begin to see them do it, you
they can tell you